about the fact that you're serving people that, first of all, do not have access to electricity, but also people that have poor quality of electricity, which makes the market even bigger. And they may not necessarily be in the let's say the same product bracket in terms of their demand and their need. So I wanted you to give me a little bit better understanding of what is the product range that you are having, so people can get to understand it as well.
Oh, okay. The thing is, we are main, like you said, we are addressing people that are not connected to the grid, and this is our core market, like really our core market. And like I said, we have like 1.5 million of those households just in Kinshasa. Now, the thing, what was interesting is we saw a lot of people coming in and be like, oh, I have a TV at home, I have lamps, I'm connected to the grid, but in my neighborhood, we have like 3 hours of electricity a day. You know, and I was like, and we were like, oh, we definitely need to start addressing these people as well. But at the end of the day, given the fact that we are in urban areas, they have quite the same need as people that are not connected to the grid. So the product we sell the most today are solar home systems with TVs. What do I mean by that? You have a system with a battery, with a panel, with 5 lamps, and a TV, and that can power your cell phone, for example. So that means for a normal class, for a classic family, you have parents, you have kids, you have a house with I don't know, 2 or 3 bedrooms, living room, a kitchen. That can power, like you can have one lightning point in all of those rooms, and you have a TV, and your panel and your battery can power all of that. That is what we sell the most in Kinshasa. Lamps, battery, panel, TVs. That's sold. Now you have people that are having like lower income levels. They will be like, oh, single people or people having like, oh, I don't know, just like 1 bedroom, 1 living room, or a kitchen, and they'll be like, oh, I might not need the TV, I might not need 5 lamps, I just need 3 lamps. So we have another kit that is comprised of a TV, a panel, a battery, and 3 lamps. Classic for single people or smaller nuclear families. Then you also have all these small shops all around. You know, in Africa, right? In the streets, you always have shops all around. Small shops that are open till late at night. And these people usually, when night times comes, they are unable to work because they can't see properly. You know, there is a risk of counterfeit banknotes. There is a risk of things being stolen, or when they buy low quality products in the markets, I mean, they don't last for long. So most of the time they will come to us and be like, oh, I need your product to be able to continue selling at it. And then we have what we call solar lanterns. It's just one light point that can help them lighten up their small shop so that they can keep on selling past sunset. So that's how it is. You have a small lantern, you have a small kit with 3 lamps just for small, like very small families or single people. And then you have for like classic urban families, 5 lamps and a TV. That's
those are the 3 range. Yeah. But very quick question. So are you planning to expand? I know it may not be in the cards right now. Are you planning to expand to even bigger than that? So bigger businesses, maybe small and medium commercial operations later, or are you just decided to stay with the small?
That is a very, very interesting question, Tony, because we are having more and more people coming to us and being like, we have needs that are going beyond what you are offering today, right? So that is definitely something we are looking into. And you talked about an investor question later. So today, the funding we are looking for, because we are currently looking for funding, because what I might not have said before is our equipment we are selling them on credit. So when someone wants to purchase that equipment, he pays 30% upfront and pays the remaining amount on an 18-month payment plan. And I know some questions might arise being like, oh, how come do you make sure that people are going to pay? So I think, sure.
Because I know that
So,
the default rate is quite high, but yeah,
that's
you
a
didn't want
question
to
I'm going
comment
to
on
address.
that.
Okay, so maybe what I will say first upfront is we believe that people are not that human beings are serious. People like paying. Definitely, people like paying. So most of the time, people won't pay because the product isn't of great quality. So if you give someone a product that doesn't work, he won't pay. If he has problems with it every time, he won't pay. So what we did is we looked for quality products. We took time to vet the market and look for very good quality products. And the products we have today are 2 years guaranteed. So we tell our customers, if you have any problem in 2 years after purchasing our products, you bring them back to us. We are going to change them with no cost for you. Secondly, we sign a contract with them telling them, okay, in the contract it's clearly stipulated, until you finish paying for the product is it's still ours, it's still for Lux Africa. Thirdly, what we do is it has a system, a pay-as-you-go system embedded, technology embedded into the battery, which makes that if a client is supposed to pay at a specific date and a specific time, if he doesn't pay, the system automatically switches off the battery.
Yeah.
So you won't be able to have access to the energy service if you haven't paid. So we will know in our back office that this particular client hasn't paid, but you also on your end, you won't be able to have access to the service. So your panel will still be producing energy, your battery will be storing the energy, but you won't be able to use the energy because you haven't paid.
And I know also that you're having some very low default rate compared to the average when I was looking at that. Yeah.
Exactly. So today our default rate stand at 4%. I know industry level is way above that. I'm hearing numbers 20, 40% default rate. We stand at 4%. Why? Because firstly, our upfront payment of 30% is quite high, I know, but at least it helps us screen our customers. It helps for customer screening. So the people that are able to pay 30% upfront will surely be able to pay 4% per month on 18 months.
Yeah.
Secondly, also, we are operating in a very controlled area in Kinshasa only, where, like I said, you have quite the highest level of disposable income in the land. So we are not going to places where the disposable income isn't high. We are really concentrating ourselves on areas where people have access to funding and there is no electricity. Access to money, like they have disposable income, but they don't have access to energy. So that makes it quite easy for us to be able to have a lower level of default rate compared to the industry's benchmark in the country and elsewhere as well.
Excellent. No, that's very, very, very interesting.
And I must also give credit to my team because they are doing huge work for collecting payment.
Okay, no, that's great. Well, I can definitely see that you look for me like the perfect business to invest into.
Exactly. Those are your words. Yeah. I'll take them.
So what would you say there? Because I'm sure investor looking at that maybe say, okay, so as I say, most of the time when people are looking at investment into off-grid in Africa, so we look at countries like Kenya, we look at Tanzania, so you get a little bit of Togo now these days, of Nigeria. Yeah. Not a lot actually pay attention to DRC, 100 million, especially Kinshasa. So what would you say? And I guess part of it, it's let's also be honest, is because the risk perception of the country may appear quite high. Is there something that maybe you can comment on that? Because I know that's the question that sometimes come by, but you are on the ground and you have the advantage of looking at from both sides, but from somebody who's basically based there at the moment, running the business, but also you come from outside, you come from Cameroon. So you have a comparison to other places. So you still have that outside of view and also having studied in France. So what would you say to people that say that that's interesting, but I'm scared of the country? So what would you say?
So what I will say is, you know, before coming and settling back in Kinshasa, like I said, I used to be a management consultant, and I did work in almost 20 countries in the continent, from West Africa, Central Africa, East Africa. You named Kenya. I did a lot of projects there. I mean, Kinshasa isn't that much different from what you can see in Cote d'Ivoire, in Cameroon, in Kenya. I mean, you have your challenges in every African countries, but I mean, it is not as particularly worse than what you can see elsewhere. I mean, people often see the news and they see war in the eastern side of Congo, but it is a very, very limited region of the country. It's not, I mean, Kinshasa to there is like 2-hour flights. The same thing as traveling from Paris to Varsovie or what. So these people need to understand this. It is very, very important. So the risk, I think there is more of a perceived risk than the real risk in itself.
Okay.
And people are getting more and more interested in DRC and investing more and more. And why is the off-grid industry, particularly in DRC and the solar home system space, most particularly, you know, the DRC government has a program to take the energy access rate from 19% where it is standing today to 30% by 2030. So 11 percentage points in 8 years. That is a master plan. What they have been doing is, they have this program they call Programme des 145 Territoires. So it's a program where they are looking at investing money for socio-economic development in the whole of the country. A lot of money is going to be invested. It is going to be invested. And in that money, there is a part of the money that is being allocated for energy, for off-grid energy. And in that allocation, they intend on purchasing approximately 200,000 solar home systems to distribute to the population. So this is a government, just looking at that, you quite understand that this is a government that has put solar home system distribution at the forefront of its energy strategy. So they are really they're acknowledging that solar home system is definitely a way to go to address the energy gap. So they have, in the energy mix that are looking at building, off-grid is definitely a significant point, and solar home systems are going to play a significant role. Currently, as we are speaking, there are discussions, there are conversations happening between the Association of Renewable Energy Players and the Ministry of Finance to address some of the challenges regarding taxation, duties, and importation taxes. But this is something that is being clarified. And I mean, it is now, I mean, there have been a lot of investment in Kenya. And like I often say, when you look at the map of Congo, we have 9 borders. When you look at investment into the off-grid space, you have investment in 5 to 6 countries into the solar home system space every year. In Congo, it's still complicated, but still things are starting to kick off. Things are starting to take off. And I think this is like one of the biggest market, like the frontier market for solar home systems. So to all investors out there, this is like one of the untouched market yet. It is Kenya, where Kenya was around 2013, 2014, and where you need to invest your money because the growth of the industry will definitely be in DRC.
Well, put it that way, there's not many countries in Africa with more than 10 million people in one city, right? So that is that.
Exactly. So
yeah, and plus the fact that whether we like it or not, you have the large majority of cobalt in DRC. People have to do business in DRC, so it's not like
exactly.
So
sure.
Yeah.
So people, people are doing the business in DRC. There are conferences every day, and you see investors coming in every day to come and invest. And things are changing. I mean, the perception of the risk on DRC is changing. Definitely
Excellent.
changing.
Oh, I think definitely with what you say, it's kind of not kind of, it definitely does make sense, right? So and I'm sure people will be listening to you, and then they're going to be coming on the ground. They need to be coming on the ground and reaching out, connect with you. So let me take you back into your customers. I think we start thinking about wrapping up the this conversation. I know I'm enjoying it so far. I think there's just so much insight that I'm learning even myself. Coming back to your customer, like I say, so I like the fact that you really said that the quality of the service is something paramount. While you as a CEO, you will not tolerate people not respecting, right? Otherwise, clearly you show them the door, right? So 24-hour service, somebody
Exactly.
it's purchasing the kit, it needs to be installed within that. That's great. So what kind of feedback have you been seeing actually when you are you talking to people? Because I also have to say you've only been starting doing business early this year, but I can see as well that you're already having some very tremendous and encouraging results. So what kind of feedback do you see on the ground?
Okay, I think people when we launched, we looked at more. We did our research. One of the things people were complaining the most about, especially the national utility player, the national utility players, they were like, they don't have a great service quality. You don't know who to call when you have a problem. When you call them, it takes a lot of time. And also on some of our competitors as well, people were complaining on the fact that, oh, they purchased a product and a week after, a month after, 6 months after, for some people, they were like, we still haven't received our product. So we were like, okay, if we definitely want to do big business here, we definitely need to be top class on service level. We definitely need to stand out from what is happening in the whole energy space, let it be on-grid or off-grid. So we really invested in our service. And what we are saying is a lot of customers are really, really happy because if you call us, some people are like, they are paying at 7 p.m. You know, a very funny joke is one of our customers once said, asked us if we sleep, because he came home at night once at 9 p.m. paid. He saw that his battery was off. Like I said, when you don't pay, the switch is off. And when he paid at 9 p.m., he received his token to insert on his battery to unlock the system at like 2 or 3 minutes past 9. And he was like, are you people even sleeping? How come can I pay at 9 and my service is back on like 3 minutes after that? You know, when for the people that are on the grid, when you pay like this, nobody takes a lot of so many days for someone to come and connect back your system to the grid and so on. So we did it in like a few minutes, and he was very impressed. So you see a lot of hospitals, because we have our equipment in hospitals, in schools, at people's homes, in shops, and they are really, really happy because they know that whenever they have a problem, let it be linked with payment or any problem with our equipment, we always send someone there before 24 hours. And so they have quite reliable access to energy.
Excellent. Well, like I said, I love it, right? So it looks like you are the real deal, especially in Africa, where the quality of service is not always where it should be. You definitely demonstrate that it's possible to do it, and you demonstrate that you're doing it, and your customer actually like it. Talking about customer, so I think I have a video of one of your customer that's
okay.
Very nice message. I just wanted to play that. It's about a couple of minutes, and after that we're going to be wrapping up the conversation. So bear with me a second. So let me just do that right now. I will share that.
Vous allez mettre le code et après quelques minutes, ça... Ok, merci, merci. Je réponds au nom de M. Ben Chilumbu Menji Kabangal. Je suis le responsable numéro 1 du centre médico-chirurgical et maternité La Délivrance qui est situé sur avenue de la Paix. Je suis vraiment flatté de votre passage. Ok, j'étais intéressé par les services de Lux Africa suite aux coupures de courant qui se passent chaque jour, chaque minute. Alors, comme on m'avait présenté les services et les avantages que les services nous offrent, j'étais vraiment intéressé. Je me suis dit que j'adhère, que je vois comment ça va fonctionner. Et aujourd'hui, nous sommes dans le bain. Nous sommes en train d'utiliser le service. Et je pense que nous comptons déjà plus de 9 mois depuis que nous sommes ensemble avec les gens de Lux Africa. Les patients avaient des soucis s'il y a des coupures. Mais aujourd'hui, c'est 24 heures sur 24 heures. Côté lumière, il n'y a pas un problème. Nous sommes dans le bon et ça nous a aussi aidé quand même d'augmenter quand même le nombre des patients, des gens qui nous visitent, que ce soit la nuit, que ce soit le jour, et beaucoup plus de services qui se passent, les services de garde qui se passent la nuit. Nous sommes vraiment soulagés parce que vous travaillez à l'aise. Auparavant, s'il y a les coupures de courant, il a fallu recourir aux torches pour pallier. Mais aujourd'hui, nous sommes dans le bon avec Lux Africa parce que c'est 24 sur 24. Même si vous piquez, vous n'avez pas de soucis. Même s'il y a l'intervention, vous le faites sans beaucoup de soucis. Ça nous a vraiment aidé, ça nous a soulagés.
Yeah. So let me come back to you. I think because I know I've been holding you for more time than needed. But like I say, it's because I've enjoyed the conversation. So first of all, I think it looks like while you serving residential, some of your installation as well go in some like I say, so small shopping businesses like that. That's what you were saying, right? So clearly that was a local hospital. It looks like you've made a big impact on them.
Exactly. So, I mean, the lack of access to electricity impacts households, but it also impacts health facilities, impacts small shops. And a lot of these people came to us and they were like, when we design our product, and that's always the life of companies, right? You can design a product for a specific group of people. And then when you are on the ground, you see demand coming from all over, different use cases emerging. So there was the use case that emerged because, I mean, one of our sales guys came up with the idea of, oh, we can definitely use these products for hospitals. And he pitched the idea to someone he knew that was running a hospital. And I think today we have a lot of customers which are hospitals. We have schools, which are, I mean, places where we didn't have as our primary target when we were designing the service offering at the beginning.
Excellent. So, well, Landry, I think definitely going to allow you to close this conversation, but I have one last question for you. But before we do that, I just want to say that the picture that I'm rocking there, it's a Kinshasa. That's the market that Landry's actually talking
about. Definitely. That's Kinshasa. And it's funny because it's the view from our office is quite the same. It looks quite the same. So
okay.
Great place.
Excellent. Yeah. So I could see very soon, maybe in a year time, you could have a couple of those dwellings and buildings. They're all going to be running. So Lux Africa services.
Definitely.
Excellent. So if there is one last final word that you want to say, I just want to remind people, first of all, that if they do not know, so we're going to be having a special webinar session, which we call obviously Meet the Project, where you're going to have the opportunity to come and find out more about Lux Africa and the excellent job that they are doing. And Landry and his team will be presenting so what they're doing and maybe showing you a lot more case studies. Yeah, so that's at the moment. I think we scheduled that for the Wednesday 23rd of November. But and we're definitely going to be making sure that we are running a lot of advert ahead of it, just to make sure that people can definitely subscribe to that. I strongly will invite everybody to attend. But Landry, final word. So what would you want to say to people that have been listening to us today, found what you say very interesting? I mean, I'm the first to be very excited about that. Is there any final word that you want to leave us with?
So my final word would be, we as a company, I think we are onto something big. I mean, we are addressing a real big problem, like access to energy for, like I said, more than 10 million people just in Kinshasa. But we are having plans to expand the whole of DRC for sure. And this is like a 80 million people opportunity. So we're talking about roughly 10 million households in the whole of DRC. So it's a big problem. This is something that is very impact driven because it touches to people's lives and well-being. So if there are investors out there, we are more than willing. We are currently fundraising. We are looking for funding because, as I said, we are selling our products on credit. So we need to, and we are taking the credit on our balance sheet. So we need to be able to refinance ourselves. So we are definitely looking for funding to scale and grow. So if you're an investor out there, we are more than willing to engage in conversations on seeing how you can invest in us. So like I said, you are definitely investing in on a high impact, high market business with an incredible team. You have a team of very passionate people who are all in day in and day out to make the thing work. If you are someone who is from Congo and knows someone in Congo, you can definitely share the information about what we are offering, the products we are offering. It would definitely help someone next to you or close to you. And if you are not in the investment space, you are not in DRC, you can definitely just go on the page and just share whatever things we do, because I'm sure someone in your network will surely be interested either in investing or in purchasing the products we are offering. But my final word will be thank you, Tony, for the invitation as well. I think you're doing an amazing job with renewables in Africa. I think we are definitely seeing all about the devastating effects of climate change, and we definitely need to have solutions to limit the effects and limit the rising temperatures. And I humbly think solar home systems and off-grid solar is definitely a way to go. We have abundance of energy, of sun in Africa, so we can definitely use solar to tackle some of the climate issues we are currently facing. So thank you very much, and keep on doing what you're doing for the space.
Thank you very much. But before you go, I think it was the last question. Definitely was the last question, but at least want to mention that you got me thinking about that. One of the things that you're doing virtually is fantastic. You're taking the gender issue very, very importantly, because I know that a large majority of your shareholders are women, and you have a program to train more women. I just wanted to mention that because.
Oh yeah, sure. So yeah, exactly. If I have to look at the geography of our capital, most of our capital is held by women. And by numbers, we have more women shareholders than men. So this is just to give you a little bit of how we look at things. And also, when I look at our key staff, for example, we have like 50-50 men and women, or maybe 40 women, 60 men. Yeah, 40 women, 60 men. And when you look at the sales team and in the sales team as well, we have a lot of women. And now what we are working on a program to train women as sales, but also for installation as well. Because we think installation shouldn't just be a men's job. Yeah. Women can do installation as well. So, and we are pushing women for technical jobs. And this is something that is really on our hearts. And this is something we are working. We engage in some conversations with Enabel, the Belgian Development Agency. So we are definitely looking at structuring a program where we're going to train sales women and women technicians for installation. So definitely the gender issue is definitely at the center of what we are.
What you're doing. Excellent. Like I say, that's why I wanted you to mention that as well, because I know that is a great thing. Well, listen, that really was the last intervention. I don't want to hold you too much because obviously you're a very busy man. I know you have a lot of customers you need to run after, and you also make sure that you can deliver that 24-hour service that you promised. So
exactly.
Yeah, thank you very much for today. Like I say, we're gonna have the chance to talk even more. So on the 23rd of November, we have this session talking about it. Obviously, come and meet the project. We're going to be diving a little bit more on that. But for the time being, excellent. So great. So Landry, so you have a fantastic day, and I will see you very shortly.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you very much, Landry. Excellent.
Bye.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye. So that's what we had for today, right? So Landry Jimpei with Lux Africa. So investing heavily into the fantastic city that you see out there, Kinshasa. So as you can see, it's a huge, amazing market. More than 10 million people living there. And what they've said, what they've done that's quite special, they wanted to start there because it's one of the capital that don't have enough access to power before they can expand into the rest of the country. They've also said that their company, they wanted to be profitable from day one, not relying to grant. I just love it, love it. And you know why, right? You know that, I've been a strong proponent, right? So especially in the show that we have in renewables and money. So how can you run your renewable energy business in order to make money? And clearly they demonstrating that. And I just love it, right? And like I said, DRC, Congo, country with a lot of potential. I just wanted to bring that in front of you today to say that the offgrid market is huge in Africa, right? And we talked about many countries, Kenya, Tanzania, Uganda, Togo, Nigeria, but we sometimes overlook DRC, right? Like you say, in terms of frontier market, that's one of the biggest, right? You could see, for example, they're talking about, right, DRC being the second, or Kinshasa the second market for solar TV. I didn't know that, so I'm learning every day. Anyway, that's what I wanted to say. So more on this project on the 23rd of November. So I'm just going to make sure that I'm going to run very soon the invite for you. So the registration, you can start registering for that. And in between, feel free to reach out to us. Feel free to connect. So let me know what you think about the interview. Did you like Landry Jimpei, Lux Africa? What is your comment? Do you have anything to say? So, and that'd be great. So for me, as usual, it's always a pleasure to be able to bring in front of you people that have been that change the continent. Right, this is a guy come from Cameroon, studied in Europe, came back into Africa, been to multiple countries, settled in Kinshasa to change the game there. I just love it. Yeah, impossible not to fall in love with this gentleman. So this is it. So it was a pleasure for me to see you, and then I'm very much looking forward to talking more about what we can do. And I see you on Friday for renewables and money. And I believe we again going to be talking about what Landry said, right? Running the company profitable from day one. Guys, you have a beautiful day, and may the sun be with you. Bye-bye.